In September of 1862, a young soldier sat down by candlelight somewhere in the fields of Virginia and wrote a letter to his wife. He folded it carefully, tucked it into his breast pocket, and never got the chance to send it. Today we are going to read that letter together, and by the end, I promise you, you will never take a single day for granted again. To understand this letter, you have to understand what was happening in America in the fall of 1862. The Civil War was at its bloodiest point. Hundreds of thousands of young men, farmers, teachers, blacksmiths, fathers, had left their families and marched into fields they had never seen before to fight a war that would define this nation forever. The Battle of Antietam had just taken place on September 17, 1862. It remains to this day the single bloodiest one-day battle in all of American history. Over 22,000 soldiers were killed, wounded, or went missing in just one day. One single day. These were not just numbers. Every single one of those men had a family waiting at home. A wife, children, a mother sitting by a window every evening wondering if her son was still alive. Private William Carver was one of those men. And on the night before everything changed, he picked up a pen and wrote to his wife, Margaret. This is that letter. September 14th, 1862, Virginia. Dear Margaret, I am writing this by candlelight, my hands still trembling from the cold. The men around me sleep, but I cannot. Every time I close my eyes, I see home. I see the porch. I see you standing there waving goodbye the morning I left. I did not know then that a simple wave could carry so much weight. We marched 18 miles today. My boots gave out somewhere around the second creek crossing. A boy named Thomas, no older than 17, gave me a piece of cloth from his own coat to wrap my feet. I asked him why. He said his mother always told him that kindness costs nothing. I thought of your mother saying the very same thing at our wedding. They tell us the battle is close now. I can hear the distant thunder that is not thunder at all. The other men pretend not to hear it. We all pretend a lot of things out here. I want you to know that I am not afraid. That would be a lie. I am terrified. But I am more afraid of never seeing your face again than I am of anything this war can throw at me. That thought alone keeps my feet moving forward when every part of me wants to stop. If this letter finds you, know that I thought of you at every mile. If it does not find you the way I intend, know that my last thought was of home, of you, of the smell of bread in the morning and the sound of the children running through the yard. Tell them their father loves them more than words on paper can ever hold. Yours until the last breath, Private William H. Carver, Company B, 3rd Infantry. Now let us slow down and really understand what William was saying in this letter, because every single line carries a weight that is easy to miss on first reading. He says his hands are trembling from the cold. But anyone who has studied the Civil War knows it was not just the cold making soldiers tremble at night. It was fear. Pure, quiet, unspoken fear that no man would admit out loud to the soldier sleeping next to him. He talks about the wave goodbye. That one image. A wife standing on a porch waving. Something so ordinary it would barely register on a normal day. But William held on to that image through 18 miles of marching and frozen feet. That wave became the last picture of home he carried with him. Then there is Thomas, 17 years old, a child really, giving a grown man a piece of his own coat. This one small moment tells us everything about what the war did to people. It stripped everything away until all that was left was basic human kindness. And somehow, even in the worst conditions, that kindness survived. And then the most heartbreaking line in the entire letter. I can hear the distant thunder that is not thunder at all. William knew exactly what that sound was. Cannon fire. The battle was coming, and he could not tell his wife the truth, so he called it thunder. That is what this letter really is. A man trying to protect the woman he loved from the reality of where he was and what was coming. The Battle of Antietam on September 17, 1862, changed the course of the Civil War forever. In the cornfields, along the sunken road that soldiers would later call Bloody Lane, and at the stone bridge over Antietam Creek, thousands of men just like William fought through a single morning that felt like a lifetime. Many never came home. The letters they left behind were collected by family members, tucked into Bibles, folded into the pages of old books. Some were found years later in attic trunks. Some were discovered still sealed, never opened, because the person they were written for had also passed before the letter arrived. Historians estimate that over 6 million letters were written and sent during the Civil War. 6 million pieces of paper carrying love, fear, hope, and goodbye. Most of them are gone forever. The ones that survive are among the most powerful human documents in American history. We do not know what happened to William. We do not know if Margaret ever received a letter or a knock on the door instead. We do not know if the children grew up with their father or without him. But we know this. On the night of September 14, 1862, a man sat alone in a field in Virginia, by the light of a single candle, and thought of nothing but the people he loved. Not the war, not the glory, not history, just home. That is what every soldier carries into every battle, not a weapon, a face, a porch, a wave goodbye. If this story moved you, share it with someone you love today, not tomorrow, today. Because William would have given everything just for one more ordinary day with the people he loved most. And we get those days for free.